All right. Let me talk about Tubi for a second. This is what I want to talk about: black film, uh, the black film industry. Let's call this Tubi and the black film industry. This is Jeff Carroll, Sci-fi Express Lane. I'm about to give you 10, 15 minutes, mostly 15 minutes of opinion, insightful stuff you ain't never heard before. I'm a science fiction writer, filmmaker, comic book dude, and a novelist. So, people always talk about, the black film community, the black film industry. And meanwhile, you have Tubi racking up on black films reminiscent of the 70s era, what they call the black exploitation era, but we don't call the Tubi impact anything but Tubi now, right? But it is very reminiscent of that. I saw a documentary that compared Tubi to the black exploitation era, but like the film companies, right? So here's the thing. First, let's put it into perspective. Hollywood is the biggest film community in the world, right? There's no other place like Hollywood. I mean, there's films that come out of China, there's films that come out of England, there's films that come out of Europe in general, right? But in Africa, right, we give them all credit. When we say Europe, we say in Italy, we say in France, we're saying Russia, right? But Hollywood is where the biggest or the largest amount of films come from. It's also in America, cool, that, in case you haven't known. And there's also films that come out of New York, but that still gets listed sometimes as a Hollywood film, even though it was shot in New York or it was shot in LA and the production people met. So let's deconstruct, met in New York, right? Finish my sentences. So let's deconstruct what Hollywood is. And I'm going to say what Hollywood was, but we got to figure out what Hollywood is first. And mind you, I'm no scholar. This is like table talk conversation. This is barbershop conversation. I'm just running off the cuff, and I do panels, and this is how we do it. So allow me to be corrected by somebody with a more polished answer. But I bet you I'm not far from the answer. So what makes Hollywood Hollywood? Well, number one, the biggest film production companies and studios are in Hollywood. Understand, a studio and a production company are two different things. Next, that attracted the agencies, the talent, not just the actors, but all of the production people, right? Now, does Hollywood have locations? Yeah, of course. Hollywood has, almost every street in Hollywood, Melrose Place, and all these are have been television shows and used countless times. But that's not the reason why they were used. They weren't used because they are so great. They're used because these people already live in Hollywood and they don't know how to create, or they get inspiration organically right around their neighborhood. Beverly Hills 90210, whatever. That is the actual area code, zip code of Beverly Hills. But why did that become a television show? Because the people lived in the area, they looked up to it, and they felt, let's script a show around it. So I digress. Anyway, Hollywood is that place, right? It is also the place where some conventions happen, but moreover, aside from the conventions, because you can have film festivals and conventions kind of anywhere, but that's where the studio execs live. And studio execs and studios are where people that have money come to look at investing in film. Could that have happened anywhere else in the country? Pretty sure it could have. But because of California's history to America, California is kind of an outlier, I mean, we always talk about Florida being weird, but California is an outliner for many different things. And film became that, because I don't even think Hollywood was historically the main place. I'm pretty sure, I know there's film history in New Jersey, there's film history in New York. I think Memphis, Chicago, all those places had significant. I said Philadelphia, right? Significant film history. If my film research serves me correct, right? So that's why Hollywood is Hollywood, because those studios, production houses, and the main industry is there. It isn't because there's something in the ground. It isn't because people just chose Hollywood. I don't know if they chose it, but they go there now because of that. And now, since technology, and so because it was so big and concentrated, that was power. And sometimes power corrupts, right? So when we see these Harvey Weinsteins, these I don't know his last name, I can't remember, the dude that's on trial now for Nickelodeon, these guys just took advantage of the influx of people just doing, just countless stories of people desperately wanting to be stars and traveling to LA. And many times you hear about the actor being victimized, but writers are taken advantage of, directors, anybody that's got green in their eyes and looks real desperate, okay? And that's because of Hollywood's great power, right? And it exploited that, it took advantage, and in a way, and not to let people off the hook, but power corrupts, right? You got to have moral sound, got to be morally sound to maintain your integrity and your morals when you make a lot of money or you get a lot of power, right? It's really a test. I don't know about it. I haven't had the chance to experience lots of money, but I've had opportunities because of positions I've been in to see how power could corrupt. I don't think I've ever taken advantage of anybody intentionally, so let me just say that. So what is a black film industry? I'm going to just jump because I think I'll fill in the blanks when I come back. Black industry are there any black studios? Are there any black executives? Where are we housed? Well, it's just like kind of any other thing that black people or other people are, minority, let's not say minority, but disenfranchised, and I don't want to say that, but just non-white people in America, because white people have been so dominant, is kind of how they have to deal with success as a community. Many times, to give you an example, like basketball and black HBCUs, right? When a young kid comes out of high school, a black kid, a basketball star, they're not the LeBron Jameses, the ones that may just go to college. They're confronted with a choice of go to a black college or a predominantly white institution, right? And the white institutions have, like Duke, recruitment videos, recruitment tours. One of my friends said that this is like 20 years ago. They'll bring you in the gym, they'll play your name over the loudspeaker, and flash you with the smoke and mirrors. And, black colleges can do that, but, they're not flashing March Madness, banners in the sky like, the predominantly white schools or these bigger institutions, right? So because of their size, they get the biggest recruits. Hollywood is the same way. So if you're a young director that's coming out film school, brought out the box, you're going to get snatched up by Hollywood. The top might not be, the bottom 20, but the top 10, they definitely going to get there. The actors the same way. Anybody in film, lighting, the whole crew. If you're good, you're going to get a job in Hollywood, or you're going to get a job by a company that does bigger projects. So, not that the black film is a community of leftovers. I'm in it. And I mean, maybe I'm leftover, maybe I'm not. But I dabbled in the mainstream television production world, and I worked on some film, but it was low level. But it gave me the opportunity when I went independent to leapfrog up to producer. I produced my first 2 films, and all 6 of them, but the last 5 I dabbled in directing. I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity, as fast if I stayed in the mainstream film circuit. So black film community is made up of people like that. Some people have leapfrogged. Some people probably are leftovers. They weren't given a shot, and then they proved themselves. But let's look at, what Tubi does allow. Tubi allows, I think I'm really making no sense. I hope somebody can follow me. But Tubi allows people, not just black people, to start at the levels that I have started, where you may have film experience, television production experience, but you leapfrog over the gatekeepers' ladders. And I don't say gatekeepers like some nasty people. Let's just say the regular steps, so you get to leapfrog over some of that, right? And get in positions that you may not have been able to get in on your own, or the way, not on your own, on the way that the film progress led it. I remember I worked at the Apollo Theater, and Apollo Theater was a black theater house in New York. And because it was a theater, we also did television. People got their starts at the Apollo Theater. And when I say start, they got behind the camera for the first time. They got on stage as a producer the first time, and then they went on to do other things. I started as an audience producer at the Apollo Theater, and then I went on and produced for Hard Rock Live and other mainstream television shows. We did Def Comedy Jam, Def Poetry, because we had a resume. Could I have walked in off the street and gotten those opportunities? Nah, man, we was working for HBO. HBO, and we was brought in through a black production. You know what I'm saying? Stan Lathan, Russell Simmons, that was their thing. So that's kind of what Tubi represents. All right. Now, technology has changed, not Tubi, but just the multiple streaming platforms. Tubi happens to be the one that people think of when they say black movies. But Tubi has budgets. I know people that have $250,000 budget on Tubi for their film, and they making a profit. Same thing, and they turning down Amazon deals, they turning down Lifetime channel deals because Tubi's got their money, and $250,000, $250,000, that's good money. That's I did a movie at $25,000 that screened on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? So you can do a lot with a little, and $250,000 is not a little bit of money. Okay, in terms of film, you could get a B-list, damn near a black A-list if you have the right connections and they really like your script, for $250,000, and give it a good story and give it a good shooting. You know what I'm saying? So it really just takes talent at that point. The actress talent, the director, the editor, all of that needs to be stellar. But you can do it at $250,000, So let's think of Tubi, and people talk about Tubi, quality, right? That's only some of the movies that's on Tubi. Then not all of the movies on Tubi are B-movie quality, and let's look at the quality of other markets. Hollywood is the dominant one, and I think Hollywood is even being fragmented by Atlanta's success and just film markets and communities all over. Matter of fact, there's no community really placing it because people are making deals on the internet. All right, they're meeting and making partners and connections that you would have had to go to Hollywood for. So I think that's having an impact on it. And I guess the last thing, let me just say, and I know I'm all over the place, forgive me, this is unscripted, but in Tubi you have a quality of movie, and people think, oh, Tubi's the only one that has a quality of, no. There are movies that rotate from BET to Tubi to Amazon, and that's just the black or the American movies. Let's look at Nollywood, Bollywood, right? Bollywood. Those movie qualities are not much different. We see the top Bollywood movies make it to theaters or Netflix, right? But the average one isn't that big of a deal. So Netflix can keep up with it. And then let's go into smaller markets like the South American, Central American, Mexico, Brazil, what's another one? Argentina. Guys, if you ever looked at any of the quality of those movies, they're Tubi quality movies. Let's not get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? And what is the benefit of doing Tubi quality movies or just doing movies anyway? Content, right? Getting your name out there. One of the biggest black people in film and television is Tyler Perry. Not only did he start with plays, but he started with low budget productions. His shows on BET are Tubi quality. He had shows running on other networks, cable networks. I'm not gonna say TNT, but it was one of those television networks, Meet the Browns and all that. Those are Tubi quality. You can hate all you want, but it allows you to build a production team and have professionals that you can count on in your crew, so that way when you step up to make a big budget film, you're not working with all these Hollywood people that's charging you unfriendly rates. You're getting a friendship rate. You're getting you put me on rate. You getting me, I can't charge you that, Tyler Perry. You the man that put me down rate. You understand? It's different. So you can knock Tubi all you want. Knock it all you want. But the black platform, the black community that is making money from Tubi Productions, I happen to be one of them, right, is building a black film community. And it's a start. So anyway, let me get out of here. I'm way over time. Like, subscribe, share, and comment.